The hypersonic missiles that Russia uses in attacks on Ukraine fly at a speed of 4 kilometers per second. It can cover up a distance of 100 kilometers less than a minute. War is algebra, and we'll show proof of this in our next episode. I'm Daniel Salem. Let's start.
Watch this.
On the battlefield, where artillery fire is blazing, machine guns are firing and rockets are flying. Soldiers are being injured every day. In this issue, we will tell you about evacuations and life-saving actions under fire in the center of Europe, where fighting is going on today. Wounds in war are different. Sometimes the help of a combat medic in a trench on the position is enough. But sometimes saving a soldier's life depends on how quickly they are taken out of the shell zone and provided with professional help. Alexander works as a medical instructor, together with the driver of the car. They are on duty near the front line. The man checks that everything is ready to go if they are called to help. His backpack contains essential medicines, antiseptics, gloves, painkillers. Next to it is a rescue thermal blanket that keeps the body warm. You can't put a lot of things in the car, because there has to be free space for wounded soldiers.
We are engaged in evacuating the wounded. We get a call on the radio. We are told that such and such a car is on its way to you. We leave and cars with the wounded are coming to us.
When evacuating the wounded from the danger zone, it is often necessary to drive through fields, forests, swamps, and overcome steep hills. Therefore, the evacuation machine must be fast, mobile, and powerful enough to take the military to the second evacuation point. This is exactly what the Pinszgauer 718 Vector PPV 6x6 off-road vehicle is.
My name is Serhiy. I'm a mechanic driver of a Pinszgauer. This car has been converted into a medical ambulance. In the work, the car showed itself well. For simultaneous transportation, the car is designed for 5 seats, and there is also a stretcher for one lying person.
Specifications: weight empty, tilled for 0.4 tons, payload capacity 1.6 tons, length 5.3 meters, width 2.16 meters, height 2.44 meters, engine Volkswagen 5-cylinder 2.5-liter turbo diesel Euro 3, gearbox ZF for speed automatic, 5 manual option, transfer case ZF synchronized to speed 1.061 to 1 and 2.45 to 1, engine power 109 horsepower, maximum speed 105 kilometers per hour, range 700 kilometers. The Pinszgauer off-road vehicle was named after the Austrian breed of mountain draft horses, the Pinszgau, which are known for their strength and endurance, and this iron horse proves that it got its name for a reason. The body of the off-road vehicle, which can withstand debris and bullets.
The armor is about 7 millimeters. The car is also covered with Kevlar. Now this is the most important thing in the current situation. At least there is some hope for salvation. The machine protects. It protects us and the wounded as well.
The Pinszgauer 718 has good all-terrain capability thanks to its 3 all-wheel drive axles. In addition, each wheel has its own gearbox.
This is where the axle lock turns on and off automatically. The car performed very well on ice. For example, a loaf has worse cross-country ability. All-wheel drive is engaged on the axles and the differential lock is engaged separately for the rear and front axles. This is to be able to get out if you get stuck. The car can drive through all the swamps. It's maneuverable. In general, it's a good car. It has a spotlight to be able to illuminate if necessary. The vehicle has a built-in air conditioner and a stove that warms well in cold weather. Both the cab and the interior are heated. I can't complain.
Watch this.
To save the military, a difficult road is traveled not only on wheels. This is the American M113 Armored Personnel Carrier, an effective and versatile vehicle in war. The APC-113 has a 3-speed automatic transmission and is controlled by levers. Specification: weight 14 tons, length 5.3 meters, width 3 meters, height 1.85 meters, engine Chrysler 75M petrol, engine power 209 horsepower, maximum road speed 66 kilometers per hour, Range, 483 kilometers.
Here you see the hatch. Here is the engine compartment. Sometimes cars are equipped with turbine engines, but here is a regular diesel engine, 6-cylinder. The controls are generally simple, easy. In general, there is nothing complicated.
Thanks to the track, the armored personnel carrier can travel both on land and overcome swampy and water terrain.
I overcame any obstacles on this APC. There are very big potholes on the roads here. But it's okay, the car crawls. Sometimes it crawls on its stomach. According to the technical passport, the passport also says so. The APC is a little bit afraid of icy conditions, because it has a track and rubber. That's why it's a little bit afraid of ice. But the mud is nothing for a vehicle.
Due to its powerful, user-friendly design and mobility, the M113 APC is often used as a rapid response vehicle to land soldiers at various points on the battlefield and to evacuate the wounded.
You can take out up to 10 people. That is, there is enough space for 10 people.
A feature of this APC is its fully enclosed armored hull. Its armor is made of aircraft quality 5083 aluminum alloy and protects against artillery shell fragments. The frontal part has 38mm plates, located at an angle of 45 and 30. This position makes it possible to prevent armor-piercing bullets of 12.7 caliber from passing through from a distance of 200 meters.
Just yesterday we were shelled with Grad. When we were bringing and taking people, they hit the square where we were. One shell even fell about 5 meters away from me. We drove through the gunpowder and jumped into a pit. But it was okay, the car drove off, it performed perfectly. The crew was safe.
Watch this.
Such vehicles as Pinszgauer 718, Vector PPV and APC M113 have saved many lives and continue to help transport the wounded to stabilization points, the second point of evacuation.
VP1 is our wound. Head, Tulib. VP2 is the extremities. And VP1 plus 2, that is all together.
A stabilization center is a small building with several rooms equipped as a mobile hospital. The task of doctors here is not to treat but to stabilize the patient's condition. Here, just like in a regular hospital, there is a reception area where the wounded are registered and examined.
The most common injuries now are mine blast and shrapnel wounds. There are also bullet wounds, but not so many of them. Among the equipment we use in our stabilization center are ultrasound machines for diagnosing penetrating injuries and internal hemorrhages. We have everything we need.
If necessary, the wounded undergo X-rays and ultrasound examinations to diagnose penetrating wounds or internal.
We find out what the patient's condition is, and they are brought here. In total, there are 4 anti-shock rooms at our stabilization center. 3 of them are for heavily wounded patients, and 1 for other wounded. First aid is already being provided here. This is our medical, Javelin, a drug for artificial lung ventilation, so there's an oxygen compressor here. Plus, in addition, it also takes oxygen from the air. So it's a 3-in-1, let's say, a cardiac monitor and a ventilator. Instruments for wound treatment are stored in a cabinet. Ultraviolet radiation is used here, so everything is sterile. We put the used instruments in a dry heat cabinet and sterilize them. And then, everything is as usual. Medicines, and more medicines.
The stabilization center also has a defibrillator for seriously wounded people who are evacuated, here in critical condition.
In case of cardiac arrest, we do not immediately use a defibrillator. First, we try to restore the heart's rhythm with medication. This is when the heart is beating, but it is beating without any potential. And then we use a defibrillator to restore a normal heart rhythm. I mean, it's not like in the movies. We're losing him, and they start beating him right away.
The maximum time a wounded person can stay here is 1 hour. During this time, the main task of the medics is to ensure that the patient survives and has the strength to withstand transportation to the last point of evacuation, an inpatient medical facility for further treatment and rehabilitation.
We don't have such a division as a surgeon. anesthesiologists, and therapists. All our medics work for a long time. They know everything and can do everything. For example, I have a driver and an orderly in my team. They can easily help in the operating room. And the nurses who do bandages can be anesthesiologists. Our people are trained. In the absence of professional specialists, we create them ourselves, right here on the spot.
A well-equipped army with weapons can easily destroy an enemy, but most importantly, save the lives of their own soldiers. Take care of yourself. This is War is Algebra.